All right. Hello, welcome to the Growth Network. My name is John Ige. Thank you very much for joining me in this section. In our last lesson, we spoke about how to grow systematically, and I made mention that one of the major things that is important about growing systematically is that growth as an order. I made example of the educational system, whereby a child will have to start from the crèche down to the kindergarten, down to the nursery, down to the primary, and on and on and on. So also growth as an order. So I will be giving us 3 growth order, all right, like 3 stages, 3 stages that your growth must pass through, and it must pass through it in this order, all right. One must not be done without the order or before the order, all right. It must pass through this order, and it must be consistent. Each of the order must be consistent, and it must be maintained, all right. The first order is the God order. Number 1 in the growth order is what I call the God order, the divinity order, all right. That is, you ensure you are growing towards God. It is important you believe, it is important you recognize that there is a God, there is a supreme being that oversees the affairs of your life, that oversees the affairs of this world, of this planet, all right. So it is important, therefore, for you to grow towards Him. I said this is the foundation. This is the most essential in the growth. It is the foundation. It is the basis. It's like the 2 + 2 that the calculus is being built upon. It's the fundamental aspect of growth. That is, you must grow towards God. Now, I made mention, like, how then can you grow towards God? Number 1 is that you have to know, all right. For you to grow towards God, you must know this God. For you to grow towards God, for you to follow this order, you must know this. I will tell you about 5 things on how to know this God. Number 1, you must hear or listen. You must hear or listen to Him. You must hear or listen to His words. You must hear or listen to His people. You must hear or listen to things that is said about Him. All right. The second one is reading. It is important for you to know this God, for you to grow towards this God, that you also read about Him. For you to have knowledge about this God, you must read about it. Number 3 is that you must study. It is important you give yourself to studying God. It is not enough for you to just assume or believe that God exists. All right, because one of the things we said earlier is that growth is intentional. So because growth is intentional, then you must be intentional studying about this God. Number 4 is that it's about writing. Personally, I believe that there is no learning without writing. If you are really learning, you must be writing something down. Number 5 is meditating. Number 2 is you must believe. You must accept what God says to be true. You must admit, you must agree to what you know. Don't forget, the first thing about growing towards God is you must know. The second thing in that order is that you must believe what you know. You must agree with what you've read. You must agree with what you've heard. You must agree with what you studied. You must agree with what you've written, and you must agree with what you've meditated. It is important that you believe. It is important that you believe. This is the order of growth. Because if belief is not in what you've known, then you will not experience growth. That is why you find a lot of people who have acquired knowledge. They've acquired knowledge, but the knowledge is not having any effect in their life. Why? Because they know, but they do not believe. They do not accept to be true what they've known. And the last thing about that is obey God. Obey obey God. It is important you obey God. That is, you do those things. James chapter 1 verse 22 verse 25 says that it is the doer of the word and the doer of the work that will be blessed. The doer of the word and the doer of the work that shall be blessed. So don't forget three things. Number one, you must know. Number two, you must believe. Number three, you must obey. Now, this is all about how to grow towards God. The second thing about the growth order, I mentioned the first thing is the God order. Number two order is the me order. That is you, yourself, myself. The me order. Ensure you grow for yourself. Don't forget, you grow towards God. You grow for yourself. It is important you understand that you must grow for yourself. This is an order. This is a pattern that you must meet. Having your foundation in God has its ripple effect on you. But you must learn to grow yourself. You must learn to develop yourself. It is nice you know a lot of things about God, but it is also very important you also know things about you. You must also understand who you are. Because each and every one of us, we are fabricated differently. We are made differently. There are traits. We have strengths. We have weaknesses. We have limitations. We have things that we do well. We have our likes and dislikes. These are very important in your growth process. That you are able to know that, oh, this is my strength. I can work better on this. That you know this is my weakness. I can improve on this. You know, when you know God, there is going to be a ripple effect. However, it is important you understand yourself. Education, how to do things, how to relate with different people at different level. Personal education. Reading books, alright? Reading books. That you give yourself to self-education. You give yourself to self-education. Number two is that you train yourself. Alright, education here is just acquiring knowledge, but training here is to learn skills and practicing with it. You learn skills and practice with it. This is very, very important. This is very, very paramount in your growth process. Now, the third thing on the growth order, on the order of growth, is orders. The third order or method to your growth is growth must be people oriented. Growth must be people oriented. It must also be for the people. You must also understand that the reason why you are going from one level to another is for the people. The reason why you are positioned in that office is for the people. The reason why you need to improve yourself, that the reason why you need to learn that skill is for the people. The reason why you have to do better in your studies, the reason why you have to do better in that skill you have is also for the people, to deliver better service, to deliver better product. It must be people oriented. It must be for the people. I pray God will help us in the name of Jesus. Up next, we'll be having how to grow progressively.